This is A Better Way Financial, the podcast with financial advisors and father-son team Frank and Frankie Guida.
And I'm Heather Branch here with Frankie Guida. Frank is off this week talking about ways to help you better prepare for your financial future. ABetterWayFinancial.com is where you can go to start your conversation with Frankie and the entire team. We also have links posted in the show notes, or again, visit us anytime at ABetterWayFinancial.com. All right, so 'tis the season for planning for vacations. Frankie, you and your lovely wife, Jade, you're actually going to spend some time in Dominican Republic, get a little R&R on the beach.
Yes.
This is very exciting. I'm very happy.
We are very excited to get some sunshine and relaxation in and just spending some good time with some good people.
That's it. Enjoying the summer, the warmth, the sun on your skin. Do you have to rent a car on this vacation?
I fortunately do not need to.
This is excellent news.
Got transportation for me. Don't have to worry about it.
Okay, good.
So that'll be nice.
Because we need to talk about, we're sending up a warning flag to everybody listening to us on the radio right now. If you have to take a vacation this summer, or if you are taking a vacation this summer that it requires you to rent a car, consider yourself warned, ladies and gentlemen, because this next story is one to infuriate the masses. There was a gentleman, he was traveling in California. He rented a car at the Los Angeles airport. He rented a Tesla. And after the trip was over, he went back, he returned the car, went about his life, Frankie, right? Minding your own business. This has happened to all of us in some way, shape, or form. Go about life, and all of a sudden, that message comes, whether it comes by snail mail or by email. Suddenly get this message with this unexpected bill. He was notified by the rental car company that he was being charged $277 to refill the gas tank. Did you not hear me say he rented a Tesla? These cars are fully electric.
They don't have gas.
There is no gas tank in these cars. And he is being charged $277 in fees because they're claiming he didn't, quote unquote, refill the gas tank for a car that doesn't take gas.
Well, I guess they're right. He didn't refill it.
Right. They did get him there. They did get him there. I guess some people would say, well, how about the charge? Did he at least recharge it? And yeah, so the electric, he had recharged it to where he rented it. It was at 96% charge, which is kind of like the idea of an electric car's version of refilling the gas tank. So he had to take it to the mattresses. He had to fight. He was on, different blog posts and saying, what the heck is this? It took many weeks for the company to finally relent and agree to refund this erroneous charge. But here's the thing. When it comes to something like a $277 bill, which will make you very mad and you don't want it, Frankie, is that not pennies compared to the fees that we are unknowingly paying within our portfolios?
Yeah, so this is something, I've actually had a story that's not too different from this.
Okay.
I was in Ireland and Germany last year.
Yeah.
And when we were in Germany, I wanted to drive on the Autobahn. So I rented one of the cars and I drove a little bit down the Autobahn and we had a great trip down there. And then I returned the car. And then I was like, okay, well, there's the money, the deposit you have to pay up front, and then you usually get that refunded.
Yeah.
And then they're like, they look at the one tire and then they zoom it. You have to zoom in on the tire. And then there's like a little like wheel bearing type thing. And there was a little like speck on it or something. And they're like, oh, this isn't going to work. We're going to have to keep that, and you're going to have to work through the company if you want to try to get that refunded. I was like,
seriously?
Really? Whatever this thing is here?
Yeah.
This little thing in this deal that was probably there before I even touched it. I guess I didn't zoom in when I did a before video of everything that was going on. It's crazy. Like, if you're ever renting a car, you almost want to get a whole snapshot of what everything looks like beforehand, because if you don't, they're going to find the littlest thing.
That's it.
Especially in a foreign country, you want to be careful with that.
Got to be super careful. Yeah.
So, and I understand this person's paying here, trying to, getting charged for a gas tank thing when you don't even have a gas tank. That's ridiculous.
But this all goes to the point of the idea of, because I am sure somewhere in that rental car experience with you and also with this gentleman here, there was fine print written somewhere, Frankie. There is fine print. And I feel like every time you just go on the internet to look up one website, sign up for one thing, and suddenly you're being asked, check here if you agree to this, pages and pages and pages.
The terms and conditions.
That's it.
I'm reading 100,000 pages of terms and conditions.
We've all got that kind of free time. And these kinds of terms and conditions, they are all around us in every aspect of our life. You want to be careful. You want to be doing better, but it becomes so overwhelming. And so many of us find ourselves in these situations. And I think with the work that you do at A Better Way Financial, when it comes, you want to talk about fine print in the world of finances and bank. Just open your bank statement, open up your 401k statement, fine print everywhere. How do we begin to unpack it? And particularly in the way of these fees that we might not know that we're paying, Frankie, how do you help folks, one, uncover these fees, and two, work to reduce them, and maybe even three, understand the fine print?
Yes, a lot of times in our industry, it's really hard to find out what are the fees that we are currently paying.
It really is.
If you have market investments, they send you these prospectuses via email or snail mail. If you still have that set up, you're not electronic. You're going to get these prospectuses in the mail. They're the most boring things. It talks about the different mutual fund or ETF that you're in, and it says, oh, here's the performance over the past 30 years. Here's the cost associated with it. Here's everything with that type of investment, which if you're not able to read it or you haven't read it before, you don't really even know what you're reading. But that's kind of where we're able to look to see how are your investments performing and what are the different fees associated with it. We're able to use a financial planning software that's able to show this is each of the mutual funds that you're in right now, and these are the costs associated with it. So you can see exactly what you are paying in your current fees. And there's also different annuities out there that can have high fees as well. And there's something called variable annuities. These ones are usually the higher fee types of investments on the annuity side. And some of them are up to 2 to 6% in annual fees every single year. Jeez. So this is something that can be problematic. It can cause a lot of that return to go by the wayside because of the fees that are being paid.
Okay.
So we analyze each and every person's portfolio fees, and then we say, here's what you're paying in fees with us. And oftentimes we're able to show them that they could save a lot of money in fees alone by working with us.
Okay.
We recently had a couple come in, and he was 70, she was in her early 60s, and they saved about $1 million for their retirement. So they did a great job saving. They needed about $75,000 of income per year, and we analyzed their portfolio. We wanted to see what kind of fees are they paying? Where are they at today? And they were paying over 3% on average per year in fees.
And that was on their $1 million?
On their $1 million. So what's 3%
the quick math
of that?
Yeah.
It's $30,000 a year.
This is exactly what I was talking about. That $277 on that rental car is nothing compared to the money you might be paying on your savings and you don't even know it.
$30,000 a year. Could you imagine having to pay that in fees? And they just didn't know. They knew something was wrong, that they weren't getting a great return, but they couldn't figure out why they weren't getting a great return.
Right.
And a lot of that was because these fees were eating into that return.
Got it.
And we were able to show them, hey, let's reposition this portfolio. Let's set it up so you're paying substantially less in fees. And what we set them up with, what we showed them is they could save $25,000 per year in fees.
Wow.
In fees alone, $25,000 more in their pocket instead of having that in some financial institution or some financial advisor's pocket.
Yeah.
Over the course of the next 25 years, that's $600,000 more in their pocket.
Wow.
More that they can spend doing the things that they want over the course of their retirement years. So if you don't know how much you're paying in fees, you want to have a fee analysis where we can break down for you what are the current fees that you're paying, what are the fees that you could be paying, and oftentimes showing that you could save a lot of money in fees over the course of your retirement. But we don't stop there. We look into tax planning. We look into how do we save money in taxes over the course of your retirement, and what difference could that mean to you? Could that mean tens of thousands of dollars more in income each and every year? In this person's case, it meant that, and it could potentially mean that same thing for you if you have a similar situation. So if you want to learn a little bit more about how could these apply to you, how much could you save in fees, what can you do to protect yourself from taxes, and how can you set up yourself for a positive retirement, you need to go to abetterwayfinancial.com and click on the sign up now button so we can begin to share these ideas and talk this out with you.
We also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there to go to our website, which is, again, abetterwayfinancial.com.
Thanks for listening to A Better Way Financial, the podcast with Frank and Frankie Guida. To learn more, visit abetterwayfinancial.com and join the Guidas for the radio show, A Better Way Financial, Saturdays at noon and Sundays at 12:30 on News Radio 790 WAEB. By contacting us, we'll review aspects of your retirement portfolio to include suggestions about how best to utilize estate, tax, and retirement planning strategies and other financial services, or if changing management styles is appropriate for your specific needs and objectives. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendations to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate, and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. A Better Way Financial is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any client experiences discussed during this show are unique to that client, and they are not meant to imply or suggest you will experience the same results. Advisory services offered through A Better Way Financial. Insurance offered through licensed professionals at A Better Way Financial. Pennsylvania Insurance License number 301779.